Yo, Werdna. Ding, round two. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and I'm going to cut transition lenses with anti-glare for your second pair in 1 week. This is the RayBan 2132, color 901, classic black in the 55 eye size. Let's begin, shall we? We got lots of room to cover. Got to get it all done in 20 minutes or my video gets cut in half. So this is your Italian leather RayBan case with your little RayBan emblem on there. Your RayBan cleaning cloth, which they always put in upside down. Someone over there in Italy's got a terrible sense of direction. So, this is your frame and how they send it to me. As you know, they put one plastic sleeve on the temple so your temples don't rub and scratch while they're in shipping. Well, if they think that's a good idea to put one on there, where's my little stash? I'm going to put a second one on there. Whoops, there it goes. Just wanted to get to you quick. So we'll have twice the protection when I ship to you. So let me go ahead and get everything ready, disassemble, taken apart, whatever it is I got to do. I'm going to pop out your original heavy glass lenses that if you drop this on the ground, they will shatter like glass will do. I will be cutting the unbreakable bulletproof lenses for you, so drop them as many times as you want. Seriously, don't drop them though. Okay, so the stylus is going to trace the shape of your right lens, and then it's going to move over and trace the shape of your left. Here, where am I at? At freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. Well, someone's disappointed with quality, but hey, you can't help everybody. So, all right, we're done. This is a Santinelli edger, my Santinelli. I'm going to pull up the shape of your lens. Again, if this were prescription, I would type in your pupillary distance, but it is not, so I'm just going to have it match the frames. This is the polycarbonate lens that I will cut on the soft cycle because of the anti-glare coating. This is a Xyle frame, and I'm going to take the lens down about 1/4 of a millimeter because I know in advance that these cut large. So here is your photochromic transitional lens. I'm going to take it out of its protective sleeve, toss that in the trash. Let's do this again one more time. Take it out of its protective sleeve, toss that in the trash. And just like before, I've got to make this block stick on the lens while it is cutting. So 3M, the same people who make Post-it notes, make these little sticky pads. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the block, pull away the tape, and it's now sticky on that side. I'm going to stick that on your lens, do the same thing again. Stick down the sticky side, pull the tape away to make the side closest to me sticky, and stick onto the lens. I got to do that straighter. And because of the anti-glare coating, which is a hydrophobic coating, meaning that it hates water, it just makes it a little bit more slippery. It's just like when you wax your car and the water beads right off. I'm going to put an extra little sticker onto the back of the lens. Now I'm going to place the lens into the chuck, or as I like to say, the Charles. I know you get the same bad humor in 1 week. I call it Charles because I don't know it well enough to call it Chuck. So the calipers are going to come down and trace the shape of your right lens onto the back side, the concave side of the lens first, and then it's going to scoot over and trace the front side of the lens, the convex side, all the while measuring the thickness to know where to place the bevel. The cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. That's going to grind away your polycarbonate material, and this wheel in the center is what's going to put the channel on there, or the bevel inside that channel, so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I will have to close the door in just a moment, but for now I just want you to see as your transition lenses with anti-glare touches down onto the cutting wheel. Now that anti-glare coating really helps when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but eliminates glare from oncoming lights as well as from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead lights, fluorescent lights. That's the first feature of the 3. It has 3 features. The anti-glare is one. It's an anti-reflection lens. You can see how the fluorescent lights reflect off this lens here. It does not off of your lens. So it's better eye contact. When someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection. Or more importantly, if someone takes a picture with a flash, the flash is not lit up in the lens. And the third feature that I like, the practical side, is that it comes with the best scratch coating and the protection in the business. Because it's got to prevent that anti-glare coating. But that's the other thing, is the anti-glare makes it a little bit slippery. You'll never have to use a liquid cleaner to clean your lenses. You only have to use the cleaning cloth that RayBan provides in the case, as well as the free one that I provide. I also, as you know, provide instructions on how to care for your RayBan case, RayBan cleaning cloth, and my premium microfiber cleaning cloth, so it will last you for years. If you notice, your lens is, the last of it is completely flat. It is now putting the bevel onto the lens so it'll stay inside the frame. Now if you notice, there is water running in the background, but this is cutting dry. Plastic and high index cut wet, but the unbreakable bulletproof polycarb cuts dry. In just a moment, the water jets will kick in just to wash away any optical debris. And then I'm going to put some more debris on there. Watching this is making me thirsty. So, Werdna down in Florida. Thank you for the second pair in 1 week. I might have to go buy a new pair of shoes for my wife. I said might. Instead, I might just get some supplies for the garden. Get her some work shoes to wear out in the garden. She'd like that, wouldn't she? I tell you, I can stay out in the garden all day long and never get bit by a bug. My wife walks outside on the porch and they just tear her up. I don't know what it is. So, I've got to smooth out the last of the rough edges you have on your lens, so I'm going to use my hand stone. Put on the safety bevel. Of course, that white powdery substance you see on your lens that I'm scraping off is called Schwarf. I'm going to clean that all off your lens and onto the counter, and then I wipe that on the floor. So, do that in every video. Make sure y'all keep score. I'm going to see if this fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner and then use my thumbs. Whoops, it's still alive. It's still alive. I'm going to press down. It's still giving me a little bit of a fight, so I'm going to take it down a little bit more. Take it down 1/10 of a millimeter. And a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off until this easily pops into your frame. Once it fits in there well, I will flip it over and cut the left lens. So your lens material, the polycarbonate, that was originally invented by the U.S. military in World War II. They're the gas lines, the fuel lines for Jeeps, were glass. And if a rock flew up and hit them, or a bullet or an explosion or anything else and cracked that glass gas line, fuel would start pouring onto the ground, a very combustible explosive fuel, which is not good in a combat situation or for the people driving the vehicles. So they came up with the polycarbonate. They wanted an unbreakable, as bulletproof as it could be. Now these are bulletproof up to .22 caliber. But that's what this was originally intended for. And then after the war, they figured out what else can we do with it. And that's when they started developing it for lenses. It is not the ophthalmic quality that it is today. In fact, they just kept refining it and refining it until it's as clear as it is now. In fact, they kept refining polycarb until it became Kevlar. And that's the material they used in the bulletproof jackets that all the soldiers wear now. So out comes your lens. I'm going to dry it off again. Go back over to my hand stone. Real quick safety bevel, real quick thumbnail going around the edge to scrape it all off. Real quick, wipe it on the floor. I've always got time to wipe it on the floor. So let's see if this fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner and using my thumbs. Boy, this thing is just stubborn. There it goes. Snaps in perfectly. Let's do the same thing for the left. I'm going to flip that over and hit start. Yes, the left lens. That's what we're cutting. Just like you saw before, the caliper is going to come down and trace the back side of this lens. And then it's going to move over and trace the front surface. Round and round. For those of you keeping score at home, the refractive index of polycarb is 1.53, plastic is 1.498, and the human tear is 1.33. High index starts at 160, goes up to 166, 167, and of course the highest, thinnest material available by law in America today is the 1.74 refractive index. A diamond has the highest refractive index of all. That's why it's such a good optical clear material. You can see through it and it blings. So I've taken the block off. I'm just going to pull the sticker off, dry that off, get it ready for the next lens. I'm going to pull that blue sticker off now that it's no longer needed. I'm going to dry your lens off and just hold it up to the light to inspect that it is perfect and no blemishes. I would do the same thing for the left lens as soon as it comes out. Your lens, for the most part, is still completely round. It is now beginning to take shape. If you notice, your lens is completely flat at the edges, just like a nickel. If I were to take your lens out, I could stand it up on the counter. Now it's going to go put the bevel onto the lens. You're now going to have the knife-like edge. This whole process should take about 15 to 20 minutes. It is now 8:12 on Tuesday, May 20th, 75 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, which is exactly halfway between Atlanta and Washington, D.C., and halfway between Miami and New York City. Speaking of New York City and hot sauces, this is my current collection. I've got the sriracha for my Asian food, my classic Texas Pete, which is made here in North Carolina, my garlic Texas Pete, which I wasn't crazy about, but the new Chipotle. You guys got to get your hands on this stuff. That is good. I loves me some Chipotle. That is my new favorite hot sauce. Sorry, I just went off on a tangent saying New York City for whatever El Paso salsa, whatever it was that commercial stood for. But now I'm going to change into my other favorite commercial, boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. How can you not keep repeating that and love it while you're doing it? So, okay, back to the handstone. Yes, I am a professional optician. It doesn't look like it from time to time. But hey, I love what I do. I take my work seriously, just not myself. So, again, I collect all that schwarf very neatly, very carefully. I wipe it on the floor. Hey, the clown has to have fun while at work, Okay, so let's make sure this fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and then using my thumbs, press down at the nose. It snaps in perfectly. I'm going to take this block off, pull this sticker off. I just want to dry the lens off. I just said off 3 times in a row. Off, off, off. Boots and pants and boots. Okay, I'll stop. Hold the left lens up to the light to inspect. There's no blemishes. Oh, man, what is that? No, I'm just kidding. There ain't nothing there. And before I activate them, what I want to do is set them on the counter and get them in standard alignment. 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So if you get these and they're too loose or too tight or high on one side, because 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other, and I'm no exception. When I take mine off and press on the counter, mine wobble. But I'm going to put yours down. There is no wobble. Flip it over. There is no wobble. Of course, let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing, yo. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and the same amount of tension on each temple. Now you can see your clear lenses. I am going to put your transitional lenses into my little transitions box, which has a strong UV light. And I will demonstrate that all transition lenses will turn dark on day 1. If you give them 2 weeks, they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they will work for years at maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're inside your car in a traditional windshield. That will absorb all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays that cause your upholstery to rot or your dashboard to crack. That is why transition lenses will not turn dark in a car. They're also temperature sensitive. Once it gets into the triple digits or upper 90s to 100, they just don't get as dark as they do when it's 85 and below. I like to remind everyone, you don't like to work as hard in triple digits, nor do your glasses. So they're just about to come out, It does take 30 to 45 seconds for them to darken, a little bit slower when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. And this is your lenses as they come out. Now, Werdna, don't you worry, they're going to continue to darken. You paid attention to what I just said. So they're going to keep darkening every day for the next 2 weeks, providing they get exposure. They're going to lighten as I continue to talk. So if anyone has any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. And Werdna, thank you for getting 2 pair within 1 week. And everyone else has gotten the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.